Hi guys, today we're gonna talk about the best camera for under 3,000 euros. So if I told you that you could get a camera that shoots 6K, 100 FPS, 16-bit RAW, do I have your attention now? Well, good. Let's check it out, shall we? Today, we are talking about the Red Epic Dragon. So these cameras have become really popular and for good reason. That is that the image they produces rival the Alexa. They came out at roughly the same time. I shot a whole TV series on the Alexa Mini and we used the Red Epic from time to time as a B cam. Now, I've considered like a lot of cameras in the sub 3,000 euro price bracket, and you can get so many cool cameras for that money. You won't believe the price I paid for this guy right here, 1,500 euros. And with that, I got the Red Pro LCD monitor, which is a touch monitor, so you can do all your camera controls from here. You have the Red Bomb EVF. I got the non-OLED one, still a really good EVF. We have the V-mount plate back here, and we also have the trusty, somewhat dated but still functioning Red Mode remote control, so you can control your camera wirelessly, you know, circa 2012. And we also have the handle for it. And the handle is actually pretty cool because it houses a battery right here. So you can actually run it off those batteries if you can find them. This just has a density to the colors that is just exceptional. And even for some applications, I actually prefer the Red over the Alexa, more for the sort of, you know, high-end documentary, I think, and high-end like sports documentary. This actually does, I think, a better job out in nature where there is a lot of color. For scripted work, I still prefer the Alexa, but this is very nice indeed. Why would you get a Red Epic Dragon? And the answer is that for what I paid for it, nothing comes remotely close. This does 6K 70 FPS, 16-bit RAW, and the image is gorgeous. Okay, so let's start off with what is good with this camera. It has a lot of options for rigging and it's super modular. Now, one of the key differences for me when hunting around for a camera with a Dragon sensor is that the DSMC1 body has all the I/O you need at the bottom built into the brain. So you got, I'll just have to quickly check here. We got an SDI, HDMI, headphone out. We have gigabit Ethernet, and we also have DC in. On the front, we actually do have microphone in, and the preamps are good enough to do like talking head stuff like this. And that means that if you were to buy a DSMC2 body, you would have to get a module with that I/O separate, and those are harder to hunt down. You can go on MPB and you can usually find like a brain, but then the other parts are starting to get harder to hunt down. This is what I sort of like with the Red system, that you can use, like if I were to sell just the brain here, there's a lot of things that I could move to a DSMC2 body. This with an adapter works with the DSMC2 body. This does the same because they use the same cables. My electronic EF mount that I got here would work on a DSMC2 body as well. So, and then those parts are pretty expensive still. So it is nice to know that even if this, for the money I paid for it, if this brain were to fail, I could, if I wanted to, buy just a brain without a mount and a monitor, and I, for little money, would be able to use a lot from this on the DSMC2, which is cool. And it works the other way around, which I also think is pretty neat. Like, I have the old Minimag module, SSD module on this unit, but there came later a Minimag module, so you can buy those off of eBay and put it on the older DSMC brain, and you would be able to use more modern mags. So what ended up happening with this particular Red Epic was that when I got it, it booted up and I got no signal to the LCD or the EVF. Now this is the second time I've owned one of these, so naturally I had one of these cables lying around from the old one. I tried all the cables, I got 2 sets of these cables, none of them worked. Then I noticed on the red mode, because that was working, that it did not show the SSD, which got me thinking it's probably like this module that isn't working. So I unscrewed it, I did the old, you know, Nintendo cartridge blow, put it back, did not work. I was like, I'm gonna try it one more time just to see if I can get a connection. So I took the module off again, I did the old Nintendo cartridge blow in, and you know, wouldn't you know, it started working. This is the problem with these cameras. They are not supported anymore. If any part of this thing stops working, and there is like some redundancy, you know, there is a lot of ways to power the camera. You can, as I said, power it through the handle, so there's a lot of ways to power. But if it goes down, you will need to go on a very fun eBay hunt to try to get the missing part. Now that is all well and good if like the handle stops working. I've had firmware issues with the last unit I owned where the body had a newer firmware than the handle I bought, and that was the whole thing. But the problem is if your brain's like, you know, if your brain stops working, wouldn't you know that would be a problem. I'm not in the position where I can have a camera that will be like a good book stop on the shelf. I need it to work for me, and having this in a more mission critical situation, like I do a lot of client work where we do testimonials, we do testing in industrial applications, and those are very often one-off moments. We can't go back and reshoot. That's not an option. So I need my things to work and I need them to be reliable. And for that reason, I can't really trust this camera, because I just got a creeping feeling that the whole like SSD unit module connecting will be a problem for me again. For the money I paid, it's almost, I mean, it's almost that you can use it for your passion project, right? But the thing is that it's so goddamn heavy. I mean, it's like 10, almost 10 kilos, maybe even more. And this isn't by any means a fully rigged out unit. Maybe if I were to strip this off, just keep the EVF, take off the V-mount plate, and for like shooting my, you know, non-critical stuff, maybe I could have a lot of red mode batteries. That would maybe make me use it more. But still, I just go back to like all the modern convenience of a, you know, 13-year newer camera like the R3. It has 6K RAW just like this one at 60 FPS. Now mind you, 12-bit and 16-bit, there is a difference. Believe me, the red color science is absolutely spectacular. Will clients and most viewers see the difference if you don't have it in an A/B situations? Probably not. And I mean, I got autofocus. It's dead silent. This, you know, you have to be a good good meter or two away from this to not hear the fans. The fans, like, they're loud. They're not super loud, but you know, they're loud. The camera takes about, to get a decent image out of it, it takes about, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes to where it gets hot enough that the sensor isn't producing any artifacts. So is it worth buying a Red Epic Dragon in 2025 and on? If you want the best image possible for the lowest amount of money, this is the way to go. There's no ways about it if you can sort of work around all the limitations that the weight and the sheer bulk and the startup time takes. So if you're shooting scripted work, this is your guy. If you're doing run and gun stuff, you're probably better off sacrificing a bit of image quality to get something that is a lot easier to work with. That's just my personal opinion. But having owned this now, this is my second Red Epic Dragon, my third Red. I love the image. It's only bested by the Alexa that I've put in a lot of hours working with, and maybe the Venice, but man, like, bang for the buck image wise, this is unbeatable, just unbeatable. So if you like this video, guys, you know what to do. Comment down below, would you buy a Red Epic Dragon today for sub 3,000 euros? What is your favorite Red camera, and what do you think is the best camera for under 3,000 euros right now? That is it. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.